Welcome to the Daily Devo. My name is Grant, and today we're going to be talking about the plans that God has for us. The best thought out plans can sometimes not turn out the way that we hope for, or they just kind of flat out fail. Have you ever found yourself trying a new recipe that you found online? Fast forward and you're ordering pizza, wondering where you went wrong? Do you remember way back in the day when you would take the time to MapQuest something and then you're driving and you realize the construction information wasn't exactly up to date and now the detour is taking you somewhere you never thought you would go? Those are kind of silly examples, but have you ever had other plans? Plans written out or plans written in your head, hopes and dreams that you had aspired for, and they don't seem to work out. Maybe you plan to be retiring at a certain age, and it isn't working out. Maybe you planned that you would only get married once. Maybe you planned on going to a certain college. Or maybe you planned on having 3 kids, and 3 years later, you're still waiting for the first. These are good plans with good intentions. So how are we supposed to navigate those realities when they don't seem to be working out? How do we make the most for them and even find and follow the plan that God has for us? We're going to be looking in 1 Chronicles 28, and I want to give you a little bit of context. There's this moment where David is publicly proclaiming to the people of Israel that Solomon is about to take over. But what you have to know about David is that he had a plan that he wanted to do. He desperately wanted, more than anything it seems, to build a great temple for the Lord, which seems good and of good intention, but in God's plan and in God's timing, it wasn't meant for David. And there's a couple of unique reasons for that you can read in the rest of chapter 28. But the Lord told him, no, I don't want it to be you. I want it to be your son, Solomon. He will build the temple. The Lord then gives details for the temple with incredible insight to David for him to pass on to his son Solomon. And at the end of giving all this incredible detail to Solomon that the Lord gave to David, we see David say this in 1 Chronicles 28, verse 19. All this, David said, I have in writing from the hand of the Lord upon me, and he gave me the understanding and all the details of the plan. There's 2 things that I want us to see. The first thing I want us to look at is that the Lord intentionally gave plans to David. The second thing, though, is that you need to know that they were not David's plans. It was the Lord's, from layout to decor, but it was also on his timing. So then the question is, how do I apply this in my own life? Because we're not probably trying to build a temple for God, but we are trying to live for God. And in the midst of all of our planning, and all of our plans maybe falling apart or not going the way that we had hoped, is it possible that maybe we've gotten a little ahead of ourselves? Because sometimes the expectations that we've built for ourselves end up putting us in a spot where we get less than we hoped for, and then we wonder why God didn't deliver. But is it possible that our plans were our plans and they were never really God's plans in the beginning, and then we're frustrated at the wrong person? Shouldn't we be frustrated with ourselves and not with God? Because here's what I know. I know that God, he does have a plan. And is it possible that the plan that God has for us, it's already written and it's found in Scripture? Because that's where truth is, that's where hope is, and that's where God's plan for us is. Thank you for watching the Daily Devo.